Hi, you knew I had it, lots of you wanted it, so here is the review of the Magic Fluke timber bass. So I recently bought this in Southern Uke store when I went on my little trip in the summer. If you haven't seen the video, you'll see me having my first play of this. So there isn't an unboxing because I actually went to the shop to buy it. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information, first of all, about Magic Fluke, then the specs on this gorgeous bass, and then we'll have a little listen to it. So the Magic Fluke Company, I apologise, I've said Magic Flute on several occasions previously. I used to work for an opera company and I think we spent 2 years touring Magic Flute, the Mozart opera, so sometimes it does get stuck on my tongue a little bit. Alright, so the company itself, it's run by Phyllis and Dale Webb. They started the company in 1999. It's a US company, and from what I've read, Dale was inspired by Phyllis's brother, who is Jim Beloff, a very well-known ukulele player and teacher. Dale was an engineer and decided to go in a different direction with his career, and being inspired by his brother-in-law, he started looking into making ukuleles, and by putting all of his wonderful engineering experience to hand, he designed some really interesting, groundbreaking ukuleles. Definitely worth checking out their website. I will pop a link in the description below because the story of their company is really interesting. It's not actually on there about him being an engineer, so I don't know where I've read that, but if I remember the article I read about that, I will pop that in the description as well. But basically, it's not just this he makes. In fact, this was a later edition. He's designed the Magic Fluke Flea ukulele, the Fluke ukulele, which is more of a triangle shape. There's a banjolele, and there are quite a few other instruments as well. But they all seem to be very different to the norm. They're all made in the USA using as many American products as possible. I really do, in fact, that's how I came across Magic Fluke, was not because of this, because I really do want either a flea or a fluke at some point in the future. But this little beauty has been on my radar for a while now, so I was very, very pleased to go up to the Southern Uke store during the summer to pick this up. So let's just run through some of the specs, but I would highly recommend going and checking out the Magic Fluke website, not just for information about the instruments, but also a little information about their company, and there are even some photographs of the shop and the premises where they make them. Right, some of the specs to start with. I mentioned earlier, roughly £650. The reason I say roughly, at the minute, the UK economy, goodness knows where the pound is going to end up in 2 days' time, all right? But on the actual Magic Fluke website, these retail at $619. All right, I just wanted to make sure I got that right. That's the basic model fretless, $619. However, if you want the fretted version, that goes up a little bit to $665. And there are a few other options. You can get a customized engraving on the bass as well, so that adds a little bit to it. And there is a case available for it. But that's why at the moment I'm sort of, not really happy saying it will cost you this much, because with the way exchange rates are going in the UK at the minute, you're better off trying to work it out yourself and getting the prices straight from Magic Fluke. So the tuning of it is E, A, D, G, like a standard bass guitar, exactly the same pitch. It's got a 21.5-inch scale from the nut down to the saddle. Overall length is 28 inches, width 8 inches across, and a phenomenal 3.25 pounds. It's very, very very light. I think it was the most striking thing when I saw it in the shop, picked it up, and I literally couldn't believe how light it is, okay? You do need to wear the strap when you're playing it though, not because it's heavy, because it really is light. It's just because of the shape of it. It's a bit like a flying V. It sort of slides off your lap, okay? But the dimensions of it and the weight of it really are quite interesting. It's fretless. It's marked up as 18 frets, but what's really interesting is that it's got a 0 fret. It has actually got 1 fret on it. If I go like that, hopefully you'll see it just by there. Okay, that's going to help with intonation and things. The overall body, this one is cherry, but it is available in walnut and in ash. It's got a maple neck and fingerboard, and it's lined. All right, so you can see where the frets would be, and it's also got side markers, very useful. These newer ones come with the galley flat wound strings. They are stunning to play. It's just so silky smooth. I think they were doing them with round wound, but I've got to say again, when I first played this in the shop, I was really, really happy. It's got the flat wound strings in it. It just makes it delightful. The neck profile, it's got quite a wide neck, but it's got quite a flat back to it, which again makes it really, really comfortable. The overall finish is a sort of matte satin finish, so it makes it nice and easy to play going up and down the fingerboard. The electronics, it's got a shadow EQ system with a tuner built in, and it's all underneath this slightly compensated saddle. There's no bridge there at all. All right, it's just the saddle, and the piezo pickup is underneath that. So looking at the back, we've got the logo by there. It's a bolt-on neck and string through for when you're changing the strings. Lovely slotted headstock with Graphtec tuners. Really, really precise. Everything works beautifully. And it's not, you know, with some of the rubber string electroacoustic and electric ukuleles, the tuners are not great. These ones really are awesome. It is an active system, and I believe, I haven't really looked, but I believe there is a little flat battery in there. The jack is at the bottom and also doubles up as a strap holder, and it's an odd one, the strap on it, and it comes with the strap. So put the strap over the bottom on the input jack, and then at the top here, there seems to be, hang on, I'll come in a bit closer a minute. If you look, there's a string which has been attached, or a cord that sort of goes right underneath the actual neck. Now, if I'm brutally honest, that's the one little thing I'm a little bit about. I'm not sure, not the strap itself, but how good quality that cord is holding it on. So it might be something in the future I'll consider possibly putting a second strap button onto here, just so for peace of mind for me. But so far, no issues with it at all. But it does mean as well, the strap's quite long on it, and I've got this as short as I possibly can. I can't get it to go any shorter, and if I'm honest, again, I prefer it to be a little bit higher up when I'm playing, but the strap does come with it. So it's a gorgeous looking bass ukulele. It's very, very, very light. I can't tell you really how light it is, okay? It comes with the strap. It's been designed exceptionally well, and overall the quality of it as well really does feel top notch. So I suppose there's only one thing left to do now. Let's have a little listen to it. I'm going through my Genzler 350 amp head into my Barefaced 110. And I'm recording it just in front of the amp by there. So on the EQ, made by Shadow, you've got a volume and you've got a tone. So I'm plucking it more towards the end of the fingerboard, compared to down by the bridge, or the saddle in this case. So this is in the middle. Full treble. Full bass. It's making something in the room rattle, so I'm going to put it back up to midday, about halfway down. Playability, it is taking a bit of getting used to, because this is really quite a short scale, 21.5 inches. Let's just take the flight mini bass, that was 25-ish, my fan is 25-ish as well, so it's just getting used to that, and getting used to plucking it a bit further up as well. Okay, so intonation wise, I've tested it in terms of where the fret markings are, and the intonation is good, but if I make a little bit of a boo-boo, that's just me playing, because I haven't played this that much yet, and the scale is a little bit smaller than what I've been playing. Gonna try sliding, otherwise what's the point of a fretless? Walking. Okay, so I haven't actually had a chance to play it with a group yet. I do think this would look really, really nice in amongst normal acoustic or electro-acoustic ukuleles. Just the sort of natural wood finish. But as I said, it's gorgeous to play. It's taken a bit of getting used to, all right? Very, very flat neck profile, but just these silky smooth strings, and it being fretless, just lovely. The sound off it, I wasn't putting that through any pedals then, that was just bass going straight into my amp. I will try it with my Behringer V-tone, and it will be interesting to play around with some different effects on it as well. Okay, £650-ish, but check the prices in dollars as well, okay? So it's not the cheaper end, but it oozes quality. It really, really does. And if you're like me and you're getting a little bit older and you don't want to be carrying or lugging very heavy instruments around, this could be a great option. They were shipping these with cases a while back. I don't think they come with cases now. I didn't have a case with mine, but it does fit in quite a few regular bass uke cases, so that isn't an option. I don't really have any negative points to go over. There's something with this strap. I am either going to have to shorten it, I don't know. It's too long for me at the minute, and I'm not 100% convinced by that little bit of cord. I'm sure it is safe, but that's something that I might consider doing, is putting another strap button on there. The only other, and it's a tiny gripe to make, and it isn't anything to do with this, when you go on the Magic Fluke website, towards the bottom of the page, they've got a couple of accessories, including a little headphone amp. No issue with that at all. But they're recommending to buy a Fishman Loudbox amp. I've got one of those just by there. They're meant for acoustic guitars, and they're for acoustic ukuleles, electroacoustic ukuleles. Please, please, please don't put one of these through an acoustic guitar amp. This has got to go through a bass amp. So the strap and the amp advert, the only things I'm going to moan about. The actual instrument itself is absolutely top quality. It's unique looking. It's made all in the USA. It's extremely light. It's just overall excellent quality. The design of it, there's a lot of thought has gone into this. I think it's got a cracking sound, particularly with the flat wound strings, and it plays really, really nice. So if you are considering getting one of these and you've been umming and ahhing, I don't know, all right? Personally, for me, I am very, very glad I've got it. It was a toss-up at the time between this or the Flight, but I'd been wanting one of these for quite a while, and I'm sure I'm still after the Magic Fluke Flea and the Magic Fluke uke as well, and they do those in various sizes as well, but this one I am very, very happy I got it. I do hope you've enjoyed the review of this Magic Fluke timber bass. I've certainly enjoyed doing it. As always though, if you've got a comment or a question, please feel free, leave it below, give us a like if you've enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you for watching.